Once you see rabbit boobs, you can never go back. Also, I'm back. Good tea. Hey there, it's Blaze here, and quite a few things have happened over the last 3 months, but I figure while we're all home, or at least most of us are at home, trying to scrounge around for things to do, content to watch on YouTube or Netflix, I figured I'd probably review one of the strangest shows that I've probably watched. Today we're going to be talking about the 2019 Japanese anime Beastars. Beastar? I don't know how to pronounce it. We're still struggling with the English language at this point. This is just one of those shows that I don't normally watch unless I was recommended it, but as we progress during this insane pandemic, I have some time to kill while online classes are killing me. It's only fair. And as I watched the show, it was like each episode I'm on a different level of acid, story-wise and through the animation. The best way that I can describe the show to you is that if in some bizarre universe Disney decided to make Zootopia into an anime, this would be the product. Except with... And I don't hate it, which let me explain. Firstly, the animation style is very unique. If you're someone like me that's coming off of watching shows that have the 2D format like Dragon Ball and earlier seasons of Naruto, this sort of keeps your eyes, it blends between CGI and traditional art. Which I don't know if is a relatively new concept to do in anime, but I like it so far. Now the story, I'm still trying to unravel. The show is a mature rating, and I haven't seen any reviews of it anywhere besides people reviewing the manga. But I'm sure there are a lot of people that are abstaining from the show because of the certain content that's in it. Which, let me be frank, it's not just furry. It's not that at all. I know I'm cracking jokes, but it goes beyond that. I'm not going to say that there aren't those scenes, but the first episode pretty much gets you prepped for the next ones, and you have to go in with an open mind in order to make it past that episode. And there are 12 episodes with an average of 20 to 22 minutes, so if you're like me, you'll probably finish the show within a day. But let me tell you, the show has one of the best opening credit scenes ever. I don't know what it is about the theme. Maybe it's the hype level of the man that is rapping over the opening scene, but he is jamming out, I'm jamming out, I'm getting hyped, I'm getting prepared, jazzed about the episode that is to come. The show mainly surrounds anthropomorphic animals that are dealing with the death of a classmate that forms an already tense situation between the herbivores and the carnivores. Meanwhile, Legoshi is struggling to distinguish between his primal instincts and his emotions as well as control them. Legoshi is one of the main characters who's this timid and goodwill gray wolf who tries to repress his instincts around the herbivores around him. And as you continue with the story, there's a constant inner monologue between the characters to contextualize their actions. Haru is sort of this notorious rabbit with promiscuous habits and is constantly getting shunned by those around her. Louis, or Rui as the closed captioning refers to him as, but I think it might have been a typo. He's sort of the golden boy, or the golden deer if you will, and sort of is the peacemaker between the herbivores and the carnivores. But at the same time, my boy is not afraid to choke anybody out if he needs to. The character depth in this show is so good that the best parts of the show are when the characters are interacting with one another because they feel like real people. The topic of herbivore versus carnivore is sort of this world-class view on our own and parallels, or at least creates an allegory for racism, but with cute fuzzy animals, because that's way better than handling it with real people. Because you have these carnivores that are innate meat eaters trying to coexist with their lunch, while the herbivores are living in constant fear of being the next missing kid. And there's a good amount of violence and gore between these two groups, but it's not to the point where it's saturated, and it keeps your attention to the situation at hand. But it's not just herbivore versus carnivore. Sometimes they'll fight amongst themselves about other differences, and it brings the question, can they truly coexist? And another aspect that I liked about the show is that it answers this question in a hopeful way, but remains realistic. When it comes to coexisting, there's always going to be struggle between settling differences, and you're always going to feel like you're losing a part of yourself, but in a way, it's sort of like evolution, I suppose. There's definitely a learning curve on how we can live amongst one another with so many differences, but at the same time, coexisting has certain limits to certain aspects. It's a subject that's definitely to be continued, and I like the way the show is progressing with it. And you feel every emotion within the show. From the perspective of the herbivores, you fear for your life. You feel the anxiety whenever you're near a carnivore and hold some sort of animosity towards them. But simultaneously, from the perspective of the carnivore, you feel that you're losing a part of yourself, even the worst parts, to remain in this peaceful peaceful Zootopia. Which again is the purpose of the jumping monologue. Not only does it contextualize their actions, but it also helps you understand their emotions in that moment. There's never any one-dimensional character throughout the show, okay? There's character depth, there's character depth. Because there's a lot of twists and turns within this show. I mean, a lot of surprises. Like, a lot. Sometimes there's scenes where you're like, where are your parents? Where are your parents? Who's paying for this? Who let you do this? But apparently there's going to be a season 2 coming out within the next year, which I'm pumped for because hopefully I'll be able to give you guys my thoughts on it. And it'll be I'll like it just as much as season 1. Now this may be one of the more outlandish animes that I've possibly ever seen. Like right next to Attack on Titan. Once those titans start chomping, it like hits you for a minute. You gotta take a break. I have a couple of reaction videos of me reacting to Attack on Titan. Maybe I'll upload them, but buddy, oh boy. But so far, I really enjoyed this show. It took me by surprise. I was not expecting to like this show. I thought it was going to be one of those like, okay, this is just another excuse for but it's not. It's not. That's not what this is. It's not what that, it's not. Stop it. And I recommend it to anyone who's interested or was sort of considering it at first. Here's your push. But will you turn into a furry? That I can't answer because I'm still trying to unravel that for myself. But that's besides the point. If you've watched the show before, did you love it? Did you hate it? Comment down below along with your theories and inquiries, and I'll respond to them as soon as possible. Be sure to like and subscribe while you're down there if you enjoy my content. Be sure to check out my social media links because fun stuff happens there sometimes. But anyway, I hope you guys have a lovely day, and I will see you guys on the flip side. Bye-bye. Oh, this is cold tea. That hit the back of my uvula. No.